Hello everyone, it is me, Elliot, from Inkblade Publishing, and today I'm going to be playing one of my solo adventures. Now, I have playtested this one before, but this one is a bit more of a formal approach, and I've ironed out what I think are the kinks of the game, so hopefully it's going to be fun to watch, and it was really fun to play. So I'm doing this just because it was surprisingly entertaining. I'm not really into the solo adventures as much. I've never really played them. My sort of introduction to solo stuff was years ago when we used to play those choose your own adventure books. So that's kind of the only only information I have to go from when sort of making these solo adventure thingies. So let's give it a go, shall we? This is The Depths. It's the second solo adventure I've created, and I think this is a bit more my sort of kind of game. The first one was a bit more of a mystery, which I'd love mysteries, but this one's got a little bit more sort of action in it, and that's what I like. So I'm going to very quickly read through the intro part, which will come up on the screen as well, and then we'll start playing the game. I do have a fighter pre-made, something simple. Just don't want to get too complicated, and since it's a solo thing, I didn't really want to be like a squishy wizard, so I felt like something with a little bit more oomph is a good idea. And the fighter in Gothica, or the first subclass anyway, is the Plague Knight, which is pretty cool in my non-biased opinion. So anyway, with the character sheet of John Testman ready to go, we'll jump in. So this solo adventure is called The Depths, and what you'll need is the Gothica pre-release guide, a level 3 character, a set of dice, and you'll need the Gothica rules and oracle sheet, which is attached to the download on any of the solo adventures here, so there's no extra downloads needed. But if you have other oracle sheets from other creators, and if they work with this system, perfect. So in the getting started section, it mentions that many members of your village have taken ill, with no doctors or physicians able to assist them. You begin your journey across the land in search for a cure, following rumours that spoke of a miracle plant that can cure all ailments. You are led into a cave along the coastline by a strange human. Once in the cave, he reveals himself to be a Mahari, a shape-shifting aquatic creature. Struggle as you might, you are knocked out cold, and you wake up in a dark and damp stony cell. You realise you were lured in and caught, just like an unsuspecting fish. So our initial location here is the prison cell. It is given the tag 1A, and the difficulty check of 8. So in the rules, basically, any checks in this location now require an 8, or require me to beat an 8. So it's a pretty easy one. They will get harder as you sort of go through the adventure. As your eyes open and your head throbs, you can just about make out the dimly lit wet cave walls around you. Rusted metal makeshift cell bars seal you inside of this small carved-out abode. As you sit on the soaking rock beneath, you realise they have taken everything from you except your undergarments. So here we start with no equipment, so we will have to mark that down on our character sheets. And basically is asking us, what do we do? And there's a selection of actions that we can do. Explore basically gives you a slightly bigger picture of the room, and you can examine things that basically are in bold. Now, you are allowed to go outside of this if you wish, but there's not going to be any written information, so that is all very much theory of the mind, and if you're really good at creating stuff, then go for it. But we'll stick with the written information here. So what we have so far is the information on the cell bars, which we can examine, which is just a simple investigative roll. But I am someone that likes to explore as much as possible, so we will explore. And I'm going to play... I've playtested this once. I'm going to play it like it's the first time, and I'm also going to play it like I haven't made it. And I've got a pretty bad short-term memory, and I haven't read this at least today, so we'll see. Like I say, memory's pretty bad, so I might surprise myself. It's a 2, everybody, which is a failure. So the explore action is a perception check. I rolled a 2. I do not have +6 on my perception, as you could probably guess, so that's a failure. So we're allowed to use 3 actions before we have to roll for the trouble action on the trouble oracle. So again, in our theatre of mind here, I'm assuming that it's just too dark and we cannot look around the place. So instead of trying that again, I'm going to investigate the cell bars. It's a 17. It's awesome, because my investigation is not very good either. But we beat the difficulty check with that in mind, we can now shoot over to the hidden information page and read up on these sail bars, which gives us the information that these are very rusted sail bars that look like they have seen better days, probably pinched from some merchant vessel or found at the bottom of the seabed. You find it surprising that these are what they use to keep prisoners locked away, so that gives us information that these are not the strongest. They might even have a weakness, so potentially I'm going to try and break free with strength. And since it's a DC 8 for the location, I think we could probably manage that. It's a 6, but I'm pretty sure my strength is good enough to beat that. Checking the thing. It's +3. We're doing good. Okay, so the simple strength check. I'm allowing myself to maybe just try and snap the bar around where the lock is. And after a sort of a small amount of struggling, you just eventually hear that sort of dull crack, and it breaks apart in my hands as I'm trying to be quiet here. And I move it to the side. But I've had my 3 actions now, so I now have to roll for the Trouble Oracle, which is a D10. Let's see if I get any trouble. A 9, pretty good. Something goes wrong. It's good, something goes wrong. Something goes wrong in your current location. The next roll in this location is made with disadvantage. Not so bad considering we're now getting out of here. Okay, I think we avoided some trouble basically. So now our locations that we can visit, having broken the lock, are the guardroom, the storeroom, and the diving pool. Now, personally, I would not go to the guardroom, and the diving pool doesn't seem super intriguing right now. I would probably visit the storeroom in hopes that that is where they've kept my stuff. So moving is a free action, so we get to move there now, and we will read the information. So it is now storeroom 3A DC 12, so it's a much more difficult location. As you approach the storeroom, the door is locked with a blackened, rusty padlock. Another lock. Through the slats of the wooden door, you can make out supply crates and barrels, most probably stolen from trading vessels or nearby settlements. What do you do? And it specifically says here that you cannot make any actions within the room until you bypass the locked door. Now, being a harder location difficulty and seeing this lock in person, I'm going to say that having broken the previous lock, I could maybe give it another go with this one, but this one looks tougher, so maybe it's worth a shot. It's worth a try, let's say. 18. That is another lock broken just by sheer strength. It's the Plague Knight. He just knows what he's doing. Okay, we break in. First action, second action, I'm going to explore, because let's have a little look around. We know we have investigative sort of rights on the supply crates and barrels, but I'm a sucker for knowing what's around. A 19, let's go. Okay, looking around the barrels and boxes, you find an open chest that contains your equipment along with a collection of other people's belongings, presumably previous captives that were lured into this place before. Your equipment is returned to you. That's awesome. Now you're going to think, you made this game, you knew exactly where your equipment was. Potentially. But also, probably what I would have done. I'm not going to go to the guard room with no weapons. That seems crazy. And I'm not going to go swimming without my heavy armour. Anyway, I've got my stuff back. Does seem like a cheat, but that's 2 actions used up. And there was also the supply crates and barrels, so I'm going to attempt to investigate them and see if I get anything extra. A 14. It beats the DC. Let's go. Okay. In the supply crates and barrels, the barrels of goods contain a mixture of food supplies, some aquatic and others made of farmed crops from the various lands. Among some of the smaller barrels, you discover the contents are full of splinter powder, a form of gunpowder which is extraordinarily effective against organic creatures. Pretty good. Once ignited, will explode within 6 seconds, or 1 turn. Any creature caught in the 15-foot blast radius must make a DC 12 dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 3d4 piercing damage and 1d6 burn damage. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we've got our equipment back. We have yet to fight or see any creatures. This is a much better run than my first one, which does seem a little bit convenient, but I'll take it. And we have our equipment and splinter powder, which we potentially could use later, so I will keep that small barrel of this very explosive powder on me. But that was our 3rd action in this location, so back to the trouble dice. Hopefully, no trouble. A 1. That means trouble. That means a lot of trouble. Oh, you activate a trap. Okay. Here we go. The luck has turned. Now we roll on the trap oracle. This is 2d6 to determine the type and the damage. And this could do a lot of damage, actually. So let's find out. A 6. That's pretty good. It's a rancid fog poison with con save. Okay. And the damage is 6 again. That's super lucky. That's the best it could be. Okay. Con save. 12 is our location 1. Our location DC. So just put up my character sheet here. I got a +2 in Constitution. So 10. That's all we need. 14. This is going really well. This is the host advantage for this game. Clearly, I would take 1d4 damage, but considering I saved the roll, I take no damage. This is going super well. This guy is a veteran. John Tessman knows his way around aquatic caves. And I'll say, for the flavor text, as I lift this small barrel of gunpowder, there's this secondary barrel that it was sitting on, but it was sealing whatever was inside this, and it starts to emanate this smell. And it's so rancid that I instinctively cover my face and back away. And as I look back in the room, it is just this barrel of absolute rotting fish. And like I say, I could stomach it, but not for too long, so I think we should get on out of here. Okay, we can move again. Where should we go to from here? We can go to the prison cell. No, we're not going to go back there. The guard room or the diving pool. Okay. I might hit up the guard room, because I'm more equipped now. There might be some more information there. And if the diving pool is the way out, well, I'm not quite ready to leave. So we're going to head to the guard room. Okay, so we're back to a DC 8, so it's much easier here. You enter what appears to be the station for the guard. A rack of coral-encrusted spears and tridents lay against the far wall, while a large rock acts as a table nearby. A few shiny pebbles and small ornate shells sit atop the stone slab, alongside some small gatherings of sand. It looks like a parlour game currently in play. While you're in the room, 2 Mehari spearmen also enter. What do you do? Okay, so we've been caught out. That's not the best, but we're a fighter. We've got our gear. We can take on 2 spearmen. They're easy. So let's roll everybody's initiative and see where we're at. Let's do me first. A 4. There we go. Here we go. This is where the luck turns. I knew it was going to happen. +1, we're on 5. And I'll do the other 2 spearmen. That is a 10 and a 3. And do they have a bonus on their dexterity? +2. So the same. But he's got a higher modifier, so he'll go first as well. So the 2 spearmen go first. Let's check out what these fish guys can do. So, for their turn, you roll a d6 and see what action they take against you. 2. He defends himself, so he receives half damage until his next turn. So I'm going to say he blocks the door, because he sees that this one prisoner has escaped, and he doesn't want me to go any further. So let's see what the other one does, if he takes a defensive position or comes and charges at me. It's a 5, so he performs a basic attack. So he is charging himself towards me, while the other watches the rear. Clever guys, they know what they're doing. This is some good cop, bad cop stuff. Okay, so he has a +4 to hit. Ooh, but I've got some good AC. Let's see what happens. That is a 10. 10 +4, 14. My armor class is 16. He misses, thank God. Alright, my turn. Now let's see. Let's just simply attack him back. Start simple. Basic attack. 14. Their armor class is 11. That hits. Alright, let's do some damage. And I am using the chain whip, which is a nice little weapon from the Gothica pre-release guide. Does 2d4 slashing damage. So let's see how we get on that. This d4 is so sharp, by the way. I am going to have to sand down the corners because it's actually painful to hold. A 2 and a 4. 6 damage. Not bad. 6 slashing damage for that first guy. 8 health in total, so he's only 2 health left. Okay, Start of the round. Let's see what they do. First guy at the door, a 4. So he now lunges into combat. He's seen his friend, and he thinks his friend is not doing so well. He needs to help out. Okay, let's just see what his other friend does. He does a 6, which would be the special attack, which he doesn't have, so he's also going to attack. So this is 2 attacks against me in 1 turn. Let's see if we can defend against them. Okay. An 18. I'm not blocking that. And a 14 plus his 4. That also hits. Okay, so I had good luck to start with. Now it's swiftly going downhill. This is 1d6 plus 2 each. Okay. 5, 7 damage. Plus 4 is plus 6. 7 plus 6. 13 damage. Okay, that was a big hit. That was a big round. So we're down to 18. 15 health points already. We're down. We are 1 health point away from our half health value, and I have the uncontrollable burst trait, which is a fireborn specific trait, which means I will basically explode. Not harming myself, but harming everything around me. So this fight could go in my favour if they just hit me one more time. Anyway, my turn. Attack on that first guy. 19, that hits. 2d4, he only has 2 health left. I get him, but let's just see how much we do. 1, okay, we might just... And 3. Okay, that's enough. So the chain whip wraps around his shoulders and back and rips across his back. And that's enough to take him down to the floor. He's not doing so well. Okay, next up is the other spearman, the only one left. See how he reacts. A 4, he's going to keep pushing the attack. Let's see, d20. 14 plus his... What does he have? Plus is high again, isn't it? Plus 4. 18, he hits. These guys are doing very well. Plus 4 and plus 2, so 6 more damage. Guys, they've activated my uncontrollable burst. Okay, nice little Gothica trait to show off here. As a fireborn, I have this very interesting ability. So once per day, your inner fire still burns wild. When you reach under half health, flame explodes from you, dealing 2d6 damage to all creatures within 10 feet of you. So, by dropping me this low, he has a little fire to contend with. Being a fishman, he's probably not going to like this. 2 and 1. Okay, 3 damage. He's weaker. He was full health. He's now on 5 health. Alright, let's... So as he pokes me with his spear, stabs a hole, he just bypasses the armor, and I would say he gets it in just enough, and I have to pull it out. And as it comes out, this sort of mote of flame comes out of the wound before wrapping around the entire of my body, and my eyes sort of glaze over with that fiery white, and then the room fills with this burst of flame, catching him alight and things around. Unfortunately, he doesn't seem too affected. Maybe he was fresh out of the diving pool and is a little bit moist. Okay, we're going to throw a firebolt at him, because that is another cheeky little trait of the fireborn. A 9 plus... His AC is only 11. And with charisma modifiers and things, of proficiency bonuses, it's plus 2, and then plus 1, that's 13. Isn't it? 9 plus 3? No, 10, 11, 12. 12. That's still enough. I'm adding numbers, I'm cheating. But no, that's enough. So he takes... What is firebolt again? So he takes 1d10 fire damage. I'm keeping the fire damage on him. Where's the 10? Here it is. Ooh, a 9. That is enough. So, mystic fingers, as following up from the fire, it seems to be still releasing, it's still surging, so I control it and sort of harness it at the ends of my hands and sort of Kamehameha, and then firebolt, and then just shoot this little mote of flame towards him, and hits him right in the chest. And I might have dried him off with the initial blaze, but this one catches him, sort of scores a big hole in the chest, and he falls down, and he is gone. Okay, so combat's over, and we have yet to fully explore this room, so I'd like to just have a quick look around. So we saw that there has a spear and tridents section, there's a bunch of spears and tridents on the wall, and there's a large rock. But again, I love to just explore and see what else the room has, just in case I'm missing anything on the bigger picture. 16, that's enough. So we get more information on the guard room. Looking beyond the obvious weaponry and table, you see a few barrels of different sizes in the corner and a scaled pouch hanging from the back of the door. You know we want that scaled pouch. Just give me that. Give me that now. Okay, so we are going for that scaled pouch, and we are going to roll for an investigation check because it's a specific item now that we're examining. So let's see. Ooh, 17. Let's go. That's enough. Anything shiny like this, I want it. The scaled pouch shimmers as you move toward it, its texture reflecting the dim candlelight into an iridescent visual spectacle. That's pretty cool. Opening the pouch releases a burst of air. It appears to be the skin of some kind of pufferfish. Inside you find more pebbles and shells, however at the bottom you find a rusted metal key with a similar corrosion to the metal padlocks you have seen around here. Could have been handy if we wanted to go to the storeroom, but we've busted every lock in the place it seems. So maybe not so useful. But what else did we find? Pebbles and shells. Okay, and we have this funky scaled pouch. Interesting. We have one more action before trouble here. Do I grab a spear? I'm a fighter. I'm a plague knight. I'm already kind of kitted out. I have this barrel of gunpowder. Do I need an armory of weapons? Maybe. Alright, we'll go grab a spear. Hopefully, anyway. Basically, in this instance where it's something obvious, like a spear or trident, you can probably just take it without a roll, but if you want to find out more information on them, you can do your investigative check. So if I fail here, I would essentially get the chance to look at it, but maybe not know what it is. It's kind of like an identify of the item. So let's see if I can do it. 11. Ooh, Ember in the Garden is an 8, so that's fine. Okay, so you take a look at the weapons on the rack. Alien to you, but you know a sharp pointy stick when you see one. That sounds like my kind of weapon. Any weapon from this rack is classed as a martial weapon, good to me, with the finesse property, that's fine, and deals 1d8 piercing damage. Okay. So not as good as my chain whip, but maybe I can chuck it. It doesn't say thrown, but I'm going to say I can throw it. It's a spear. And I'm a fighter. I should be able to throw things like that. It's all good. Okay. Unfortunately, that was our third action, so we have to roll the trouble dice. 7. That's not too bad. That's not a lot of trouble, surely. Something startled you, causing an accident. Rolling negative twist oracle. Okay. For flavor text reasons, I'm going to say I grab one of the spears, and as I pull it away, I don't realise, but the bottom is attached to this sort of wooden rack, this makeshift rack, and as I do, it pulls them, and they all come tumbling down and clattering, and make that nice hollow, like echoey clatter across the cave sort of stone floor. So, yeah, not good when you're trying to be a stealthy guy sneaking out of prison. But anyway, we've got a negative twist roll to roll for, or negative twist oracle to roll for. 2. The location becomes sealed. All exits to other locations are considered to have an obstacle. So when you want to leave a location that has obstacles, you essentially have to beat the location DC, but with athletics or acrobatics. There's obviously other ways you can deal with the obstacle. This is a solo adventure, so the sort of scope is quite wide, but this is essentially if you want to move out of it without sort of, so if something is blocking your path, if you want to just move through it without clearing it, then that's the way to do it. And I'm going to say, with everything that's, all of the spears and tridents have just fell down, rolled across the floor, I'm going to say they have some odd makeshift alarm system where there is like maybe like a pulley system where all the doors and all the prison sort of cells slam shut, kind of like a lockdown effect. I'm not entirely sure how they've set this up. From what I've seen, they're pretty sort of rudimentary with their stuff, but this is a really oddly intricate system that's just on these sort of ropes and pulleys, but the door has slammed shut and is now fully closed, and even these, like, I'd say these like goes to an extent of like deadbolts come down. So yeah, annoyingly tricky, these guys. Maybe they're a little bit more, maybe they're smarter than I realised. I give them credit for. So I'm going to try and sort of barge my way through the door with athletics, just see if I can break it down. An 8 in my athletics. I think I'm proficient in it. Oh, +5. John Tessman is not one to shy away from a daily training. Okay, strong enough to barge through the door. I'll say he breaks enough of it, shoulder barges it, and cracks open where the lock is so he can rip the rest of the door open and back out. But now that we know we've activated this alert system, I think it's probably time to leave. So I'm going to head to that diving pool now. Okay, so this is a DC 8, so not so bad. It's a circular hole that is carved into the stone floor. Water laps at the edges with a soft ebb and flow. What do you do? So where we can go from here is the prison cell, the guard room and the storeroom, but we've been to each of those locations. So where else can we go? Well, we can go to the cave bay and the Mihari lair. And moving from this location requires a 2 out of 3 successful constitution or dexterity check, because we are now having to swim underwater. And this is clearly their sort of aquatic network, so it's going to be very difficult to tread through the water here. Where do we want to go? Do we want to cave bay and leave, or the Mihari lair and potentially go deeper and fight? For you guys, I'll go for the lair. So this is 2 out of 3 checks, or roll a trouble oracle if we fail. And we don't want to have trouble in... we definitely don't want to have trouble underwater with fishermen around. So let's hope we succeed. A 15, that's enough. What was the DC? 8. We're good. And an 18, we'll do one. A 2. Okay, we got the 2 out of 3. Only just. So no trouble oracle here. Okay, we've entered the Mihari lair. As you emerge from the winding underwater tunnels of this cavernous system, you find yourself in a dome-shaped room with a large-scaled merfolk, the Mihari Queen. What do you do? Okay, and it says information here. If you defeat the Mihari Queen, then go to 6B. So that's more information. Okay. I'm assuming, since we did not sneak up, she is probably kind of annoyed that she has just turned around. I say we'll burst out of the water, gasping for air, considering we didn't pass all 3 of the checks. We didn't make this quiet entrance. So as we burst out of the water, the large merfolk queen is going to turn around and not be very happy if one of her prisoners has just escaped and entered her domain. So I'm going to say we bust into some combat here. Let's roll her initiative first. Get the bad ones out of the way. A 10, not so good for her, come on. And a 16 for me. Let's go. Alright, I'm up first. Now, I can quickly look at her stats because it's a solo adventure I'm allowed to see. So we can see her AC is 14, her health is 24, passive perception is 12, yada yada. Weakness is enamored by shiny objects. Now, we have a scaled pouch, and if I remember, that shimmers in the dim candlelight. So I'm going to attempt to distract her with this pouch. Now I have my gunpowder, so could I put the gunpowder inside the pouch? I didn't even actually think of that as an idea when I wrote this, but I have now thought of that idea, and I really want to do it, and I'm the GM and the player, so I'm going to let me do it. I'm going to very quickly, on my turn, as a bonus action, shove all the gunpowder in that and just chuck the pouch towards her. What would this be? Deception? Let's try a deception check to see if she even toys with the idea. A natural 20. Okay. I think this works. This is going to be good. Say, gunpowder filled pouch, closed up. As we saw before, when I opened it, it was a burst of air, so it's somewhat airtight, so the gunpowder should stay in. I'm going to chuck the pouch towards this queen, and she's going to see it shining in the light, and she's going to, like a cat playing with a toy, reach out to grab it and collect it. And I can't say I have much more to do on my turn, but we'll leave it there. And then for her turn, let's say, well, let's roll her dice to see what she does. A 6. She uses her special ability. Goddamn. Okay. I'll say she's still holding on to this thing, but she is not stupid enough to suddenly become non-hostile. Her special ability is the luring light. So we've both captured each other's interests here. So I need to make a DC 12 wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, you become charmed by the Mihari Queen until the end of your next turn. Not the wisest guy, so let's see. That's free. Okay. I'm charmed. That's it. I don't have like +9. Okay, my turn. I'm charmed. This the queen's cool. I'm also charmed by the sparkly bag. Okay, okay. She rolls a 2. That means she's sticking on the defensive. Okay, maybe instinctually, she activates this light out of interest for the light itself. So she's been sort of caught by this shiny light, and it's like a cat purring. She's like lit up this light, which in turn has caught my attention. So we've kind of had this stalemate for a few turns. So we'll see see if we can get anything happening now. All right, back to the new turn, and I'm pretty lucky that she didn't take advantage of me being charmed, but I have now broken free of the charm, snapped my senses, I've realised where I am. Let's see what I can do. Now, I do have a... Let me check my... I think I have a cutlass pistol, which is a very small pistol with a big blade at the bottom of it. I'm going to see if I can shoot the gunpowder-filled pouch that she is holding. And there is a weak spot mechanic in Gothica, which I haven't fully fleshed out yet, but essentially you add to the AC of the creature. So I'm going to say it adds +2 to her AC because it's a tricky shot. So it's a 16 to beat. So this might not work, but we'll see. And I have an action surge, remember? A 9. Okay, fire, miss. Action surge and try again. A 7. Okay, cool, moment over. Natural 20 was the best part. So we fire these 2 shots off, and let's say they just ricochet off her hide. Over to her turn. This is not looking well. Not looking good. A 2. She stays on the defensive. This is awesome. Okay, back to me. 1 more shot. Third time's the charm. A natural 1. Not very good. I say, is it the bullet? Let's say the gun misfires. Let's be really, really horrible to myself. Click. Nothing. Probably got pretty wet while swimming through the caves. And I finally sort of burnt through to the part that is now affecting the gun. Okay. Her turn. A 3. That's a basic attack towards me. Okay, this could end badly. I might have to escape. Last time I played tested this, she beat me. I don't want to lose to her again. I didn't even have the gunpowder last time. I thought this was going to be a huge win. An 8, she misses. Okay, this is a better back and forth. This is pretty good. Alright. Do I keep shooting? This will be the 4th shot. No, the gun doesn't work anymore. I did a natural 1. I wrote myself into a corner. I thought myself into a corner. Alright. I have a use of firebolt. I have firebolt. I can shoot the gunpowder pouch. Let's go. Come on. 16 to beat. 19. Let's go. Okay. Firebolt hits that damn pouch full of gunpowder. Alright, let's explode. This has got to be some good damage, please. This is 3d4 piercing and 1d6 burning. Let's do those d4s. As the firebolt launches from my finger, my last one. And then an eruption of this sort of this shrapnel filled powder, this sort of razor sharp powder. It's like that fiberglass sort of stuff where it instantly sticks into your skin, but this is much deadlier. So let's see. Let's hope it does a lot of damage. A 3. This is good start. A 1. Not so good. We got 4 plus 2. That's 6. Okay. Not great. Probably could have done more damage on regular attacks. Plus 5. Okay. So we have got 11 damage. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay. So she's at 24 health. Alright. She is down to 13. Okay. What was I on before I started this fight? I was pretty low, wasn't I? Yeah, I was on 9. I came into this fight super low, and she has not hit me once. Okay, that was really dumb. I forgot I took so much damage in that last battle. Okay, cool moment, but not enough to finish her off. What did she do? D6? A 6. The luring light. My guy's not clever. Wisdom save. 15? I save it. Okay. That's good. My turn. I'm glad she doesn't have legendary actions or anything. Oh, I've rolled. I didn't see what it is. I'm basically attacking her with the chain whip. It's a 4. Doesn't matter. Let's see what she does. It's a 6. The luring light. It's a 7. I'm charmed. Her turn. A 1. She moves away. Okay, she is yet to hit me. Let's play this differently. She's yet to hit me. She has only ever tried to use her lowering light on me. And I've blown her up with a gunpowder-filled pouch. Maybe she's choosing not to fight back? That'd be super interesting. Let's explore that route quickly. So my action is the fact that she's cowering, and she's obviously such a formidable opponent, means that she doesn't want to fight, I'm going to think. So I could roll a simple question oracle here, or complicated, or check out the NPC personality oracle. Okay, I'm going to do the NPC personality oracle just to find out what this person thinks, or what this queen thinks. She's a 1, so she's hostile. Okay, but it doesn't mean that she is still... I mean, she's been blown up. So we can definitely explore this route. So for my action this turn, I am going to call out to her and say, like, I don't know what to say. What do you say to a Mahari queen that's captured you? I mean, she did imprison me. That was a bad play by her if she wanted to be friends. So I'm going to call out and say, I'll point my weapon at her and say, surrender. None of us need to die today. You've already lost 2 men upstairs. Let's not make it a 3rd. Try and intimidate her? Okay, maybe we can do that. A 12? My intimidation's kind of good. I'm John Testman. There we go, I'm going down for intimidation. +3, okay. And I guess we'll go for the location difficulty DC 12. Okay, we've intimidated her successfully. This is cool, Let's see where it goes. I don't know what you do. Okay, I say for her turn, she backs down. Maybe sort of hides back and seems like she's not willing to attack. Opportunity, I am going to sort of keep a defensive stance, keeping my gun pointed at her. Maybe she doesn't know it doesn't work yet. And explore the room. An 8. Damn. A failure. I'm pretty distracted, so that makes sense. My perception is only +2, yeah. Damn, okay, I failed that. I'm going to say she doesn't make any further actions towards me until I make an offensive action towards her. So I could continue. I'm going to try one more time to explore the room. And then after that, I'm going to have to roll a trouble oracle. Okay, 19. I say after I regain my composure, I take another look around, and then I get a chance to see what actually is here. Okay, so the Queen's Hive seems more like a makeshift hospital with unconscious or diseased Mihari and prisoners lying around on the cold stone floor. What exactly is occurring here? As you look around the cavern, you see a shadowed figure in the corner. They attempt to run away before falling to the ground with the sound of iron chains. Okay, so she's got other prisoners down here, and it's some sort of hospital, so she's treating her own people. And is she treating prisoners, or are they... It says deceased Mahari and prisoners, so maybe she's using prisoners to try and treat her own people. Interesting. But there is this person over there in the corner that's trying to run away but is chained. So I'm going to attempt to talk to them on my final action before the Trouble Oracle. What do I need to roll here? I'm going to use just the converse. So I'm just going to use the converse action to see what I need to do. So it says the character is a Mahari that is currently chained and bound. Interesting. Using the NPC personality oracle and question oracles, they may be able to explain the situation in further detail. Okay, so we have another chance to talk here. So I'm going to very quickly use their NPC check to see what stats they think about me. A 6. They're friendly. Of course they are. I'm just coming in beating up their captor. They're loving me. Okay. I'm going to give him a complicated question. So this is D20. What do I want to ask? This is a lot. This is a difficult situation to be in. Will the Queen stop taking prisoners and let me go? Let's see if we can do that. It's a 13. The result you receive is a positive but uncertain answer. Okay, I'm going to say he doesn't really speak a lot of common, so we have this language barrier, but it seems like he can be the translator between us two. And it seems like the tensions have died down. So I lower my weapon, but I've used a lot of actions, so this is definitely a time for a trouble oracle. Hopefully she doesn't kick off. A 4. One hostile creature has found you and battle commences. Okay. Combat continues. Oof. And I have to use the above ruling, so it's now 1 to 3 is a spiny sea slug that appears, and then 4 to 6 a Mahari spearman appears. A 2 is a slug. Okay. I can deal with that quickly. Do I walk away from it? Do I keep my space? I'm going to try and keep away from it while it chases me down. Because I feel like if I'm going to start fighting here again, the Queen's going to react to the aggression. Or do I have to deal with it? I'm going to use my first turn. Well, let's find out the initiative order first. 19 for me. I should have said it was going to be for me. Oh, 19? I'll take that one. Let's do that again. This one will be for me. A 9. Oh, and that one gets an 11. But am I faster than him? Dexterity is +0. And my dexterity is +1. No, okay. So he goes first. Let's see what he does. This slug. A 4. He attacks. Okay. I can take a slug. 10. Yeah, he doesn't even do anything. He rubs up against me with his spines, and I just kick him away a bit. I'm going to use my action this turn to just quickly fly over to move over to the Queen a little bit more, showing that I mean no harm, even having no blown her up. Let's try and reconcile this relationship. Using the prisoner, I'm going to question. What do I even want to ask? Saying, what are you using the prisoners for? Are you using them to treat your Mahari people? A 19. The result is the truth. Offer physical evidence to your question. And because I know the story here a little bit, I am going to cheat a tiny bit just to speed this along. Essentially, she is treating her kin with a very similar disease from the people back home. And she hands me this jar, which has all this sort of very sappy liquid in, very thick. And it says, as you take a closer inspection of the remedy, the smell is sweet and it reminds you of an exotic fruit you would have seen on any market day. As soon as this thought pops into your head, you see remnants of that exact plant in the corner of the cave. Could this be the miracle cure you were after all along? So, this queen has been treating her kin with this fruit, and it's a disease that's very similar to what I'm trying to find a cure for. Whether or not she's been using people as like an experiment, because she's kind of cowered down, maybe she was in a sort of defensive state and she was more looking out for her own kind rather than doing anything in malicious sense. So it's either that or that I blew a big gunpowder sack in front of her and she got scared. But I'm going to say that she was doing it on a nice... she was trying to do it as nicely as possible and maybe as humanely as possible, as much as a aquatic monstrous creature can by trapping people and using them as experiments. But I'm going to say the sea slug is very quickly vanquished because that is a very basic enemy. And between me and the Queen, I'm sure she'll help me out. She summons it away, calls it away. And with this knowledge of a cure, I'm going to slowly back away, trying not to stir the situation because I feel like she has shown me some grace, so I can do the same and we can leave the situation as is. I'm going to very quickly dive in the water and head back to the cave bay. So this is 2 rolls, 13 and 11, and the area is 12, but I have enough on the constitution check. And 19 anyway, so yeah, I get back totally fine. So let's read what the cave bay has to offer. You breach the water and suck in the valuable air. Realizing you've surfaced in the bay nearby the cave, what do? And so the locations I can go to is the diving pool, which is, I'm going back there, or back to land, which is brackets ending. So I think here we end the story. We were captured. We fought our way out of our imprisonment. We attempted to kill the queen, and she took a very surprising turn with a defensive sort of measure, which is kind of cool, actually. Not what I planned at all, which is awesome. It just shows how, like, even on 2 pages, you can have, like, a totally different approach. Because last game she killed me, so she's much nicer in this one. She also gave me knowledge of a remedy for a cure, sort of unknowingly, through this broken language barrier. So with this knowledge, I can hopefully go back to my village and start to cure the people there. So maybe this is a win? Not everyone died as well, so it was only a couple of goons, and they attacked me first. They went first, they attacked first. Really awesome. I really love how these tiny little stories can create something that's actually coherent. I don't know how it works. I'd love to play a longer one. So if anyone has any cool suggestions for solo games and solo adventures, send them my way, because I think I want to get into these more. They're certainly easier to set up because you don't have to wait for your 5 friends to have the same weekend free, which never happens anymore, it seems like. So yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed. This is a free guide, so even if you think I've seen everything that was to offer, there's still a few more things and it can play out totally differently, so I would download it because I made it. So I'm hoping you will download it, but I will say that you should download it to give it a try, and I always want to hear what you guys think, and I'd love to hear your versions of the story, because I think that's really cool, and I'd love to know. So you can join the Discord and have a sort of a longer conversation about this sort of stuff, or you can just shoot me a message on Instagram or leave a comment down below. And anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. It's been a lot of fun for me. So yeah, go download it, have fun. Catch you later.